the Raptors off the tip. All fueled up and ready to go. Brought to you by Gatorade. Let's check out who's on the floor. Setting the floor for the Nets. Russell and Crabbe are in the backcourt together. Harris is out there with LeVert, and it's Allen in at the 5 spot. Leonard against Harris. Pass to LeVert. It's good. He makes his first shot of the game.
That 6'7" Karis LeVert knows how to use that size, especially inside. He knows how to handle himself in there.
Joe Harris, a guy that bounced back between the G League, Doris, and the NBA his first few seasons.
Right. Joe Harris has thrived fitting into a shooting role with this team. And credit Coach Kenny Atkinson for saying, listen, model yourself after Kyle Korver.
And there's the foul on the shot. He'll go to the line for 2. And Toronto called for the foul.
Well, you love the aggressiveness D'Angelo Russell plays with. This guy basically dares the defense. Make a play on me here. Think about this. In his first season away from the Lakers last year, D'Angelo Russell seemed to be a much more confident player. Looked like the number 2 overall pick we expected coming out in 2015.
Here's Leonard. It's not going to go for him. The Nets go the other way with it. And here's Harris from the arc. The Nets get it back in a new 24. Marc Gasol picks up the foul. That's his first foul. To the inside, Allen. Good, and it's Russell picking up the assist. Allen's got his first points of the game. And Russell missing a lot of time before the midway point last year with a knee injury.
Well, I think he knew that he would be called upon to lead the team with his scoring and playmaking ability, and he really stepped up to the challenge. Amazing what a change of scenery can do for a guy.
Here is Lowry after the basket by Brooklyn. Inside, here's Green. The lead pass was put in just the right spot.
I'll tell you, that's an assist that shows great sense for where his teammates want to move.
Russell against Lowry. From deep three-point range, Russell, no good.
Yeah, and even with his range, that one might be asking a little too much.
Yeah, that zip code might extend beyond his range. My goodness, let's take a better shot next time.
And the one-hand slam just looks so pretty when it's in his hand and he's the one doing the slam.
Agreed. He is smooth as silk, even on a power finish. So timeout called here, the first for Toronto. A lot of responsibility, Doris, in being the focal point of an offense. What characteristics have you seen are shared among NBA players who carry the load offensively for their teams every game?
Right. This is a great separation point to me in the NBA because there are a lot of outstanding players at the level on any given night in the NBA. But, Kevin, there is a select few players who are willing to share the lion's share of the responsibility. Men like Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Russell Westbrook. Like, you have to be prepared 82 times per year to step between the lines, shoulder the load, and sometimes when you underperform, to bear the criticism that comes with that responsibility. And Kevin, you know this. That's a select few player who's willing to absorb that.
Good thoughts. And just under 2.5 minutes elapsed here in the first. A 3-ball. Rebound by the Raptors.
Nice timing to get up on that shot.
Boy, you can't ask for better defense, Greg. Excellent work getting right into the grill of the shooter.
And busting it up the floor. Leonard showing a lot of energy on the fast break. If there's one thing he doesn't lack, it's hustle. And with Kawhi in this past summer, his health was such an unknown quantity during trade talks. Now that we know that Kawhi is a full go, it looks like a great deal for Toronto. Casts a bit of a shadow and doubt over Kawhi's last year in San Antonio, but it is what it is at this point. Heating up early on. This is exactly how he wanted to start the night.
You're right. I mean, he's found his rhythm early. The defense has got to do a better job guarding him from this point on. Well, it's been an up and down quarter for him on the offensive end. Mostly down, though.
And it's out of bounds. The Nets will take it the other way. Brooklyn's gone a meager 1 of 6 from three-point land since we got started tonight. Russell from long range. Again, Russell missing.
Well, he's trying to shoot his way out of this slump, but it's not helping his team. That was an awful quarter.
Siakam far from the most skilled player on the floor, but Dorsey finds minutes through his hustle.
This guy has got one of the highest motors in the league. He can leak out in transition, finish in the open floor. I'll tell you, this is a jolt of caffeine in a power forward's body.
He's perfect from the line this time. Nets trail by 4. Russell kicks to Crabbe. Off target from three-point range. And there's a foul called on Allen Crabbe. So that will be his second foul of the game. We're in the bonus. We'll go to the line to shoot 2. And the first one at the line is good. Kyle Lowry, one of the better rebounders you'll see at that point guard position.
Well, at 6'1", he does an incredible job rebounding the position, particularly given his size. And you love that he's committed to it long term.
Allen's shot is off.
And typically he has the touch to finish when he's in tight, but not sure on that possession.
Leonard with the bucket.
Oh, this is the kind of start they were hoping for.
And here in the first quarter, with a little over 3.5 minutes played, there's Crabbe with the 3. Now on the scoring column with that bucket. 1 for 2 this game.
You've got to be able to read the defense and catch and shoot situations. Allen Crabbe does just that.
And out of bounds as the Nets gain possession. "17 seconds left here in the first quarter. From past the arc, and the Nets another 3.
Well, Allen Crabbe, a little three-point specialty. What confidence right there.
Outside Leonard. It could go, and the last shot at the buzzer doesn't go in for him. And we'll be right back after this. Now a veteran in the NBA, Serge Ibaka, talked about his role.
I like to do all those little things, running up and down, blocking shot.
And Ibaka, Greg, a great complimentary player.
And you like his combination of size and skill, able to impact the game at both ends on a high level.
And this has been a fairly close game through the first quarter, and we'll see what happens here in the second. And from what we've seen so far from the Raptors guys, your thoughts?
Well, already in the first period, they found ways to get this offense ramped up.
I think one key is they've controlled the tempo so far. And I know it's early, but it helps to have this kind of lead.
And Brooklyn, looking who they've got. Russell and Crabbe are in the backcourt together. Allen is out there with LeVert, and it's Harris in at the small forward position. Here's Siakam. Here's Leonard. From the top of the key, he buries it. Leonard's got the first points up on the board here in the second quarter for the Raptors. Dinwiddie passes to Kira. That 3 off the mark. Raptors leading by 4. Well, after the Raptors fell short of their goals last season, you knew they were going to be changing some things up.
Well, obviously the first big move was moving on from Dwayne Casey as the head coach. And you think about Dwayne had brought the best years this franchise had seen, and they still felt it was time for a shift. Now, it's not necessarily his blame. Sometimes you just need to hear a new voice when you've ended in the playoffs the way they have over the last several years.
Here's Dinwiddie. A beautiful reverse layup.
A great size at the point guard position. Dinwiddie, fantastic getting into the paint and making the defense pay.
Quarter number 2 with just over a minute gone. Got a piece of it. Carroll finds Davis. Toronto grabs the miss.
And a surprise he doesn't knock that down. Defense a little too lax that time. That's great use of size and length. Tough down low, and guys are battling for that board.
Dudley, the pass to Dinwiddie. Back to Dudley. There's the triple. Good for the basket. Starting off 1 for 1 with that shot.
Obviously, he's not the top priority for the defense in those situations. It results in an open 3.
Toronto calls timeout. Well, you just have to admire the job that this Nets front office has done to improve the roster.
Well, there's no doubt, Kevin, they have taken on bad contracts in an attempt to gather assets. They have found talents like Spencer Dinwiddie who were passed up by other teams. So even though they didn't have a ton to work with, the team has kept pace with their improvement.
And Toronto will go for a different look here. Serge Ibaka is checked in for Siakam. OG Anunoby comes in for Kawhi Leonard. Powell, he's checked in for Danny Green. And it's Fred VanVleet in for Kyle Lowry. VanVleet with the bucket. Nets trail by 3. That's good from Harris on the assist by Allen.
Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
VanVleet kicks to Ibaka, pulls up, high post. Allen with the rebound.
Boy, they leave an area of the floor totally unprotected, and he lets it go to waste.
And that one, good.
And those are the kind of nice inside looks they've gotten here in the first half.
And for those of you just joining us, we're almost 2.5 minutes into the second quarter. And D'Angelo Russell picks up the foul. That is his first foul of the game. Gasol passes to VanVleet. Back to Gasol. Over Allen. And good. Got the friendly bounce off the right side of the rim. Gasol's got 4 points in the quarter.
Man, this thing is just going back and forth tonight.
Neither team wants to give an inch. This is fun. Both teams trying desperately to seize the momentum. Oh, he is one hard player to deal with at the offensive end.
Here's Allen. The Nets working the ball around now. And it's LeVert missing. And so Gasol will bring it up for the Raptors. 3-point lead.
And already his third foul. It's got to be time to get him out of there probably until the third quarter.
That free throw, no good. And now that that final debt, Doris, has been paid, it must feel like a huge relief for Nets fans to be done with that trade they made with Boston.
Well, you hate to say it, but trading for KG, Pierce, and Terry back in 2013 turned out to be a disaster for the Nets. Probably set the organization back a good 5 years. They must be thrilled to be out from under the weight of that mistake.
And a good opportunity here to go 2 for 1.
Let's see what they do here, Greg, right? Because you know they want to get a couple of possessions out of the time left.
For Toronto, they have had 7 opportunities at the free throw line and made good on 5 of them.
Shooting for Toronto, Serge Ibaka. Taking 2 shots.
The free throw drops for Ibaka.
You know, and Serge Ibaka, a player who kind of came into the league as a defensive stopper, shot blocker. You know, still has great length and can bother shots, but not the prolific shot blocker he once was, as the focus has become more on the offensive end.
Well, let's remember, Serge Ibaka is a defensive presence. This guy, an elite shot blocker early in his career, and he is now a capable scorer from just about anywhere.
And that's how you want to use your fouls, not allowing him to get to the rim.
The first one falls. A new group in now for the Raptors. Siakam is checked in for Ibaka. Kawhi Leonard comes in for OG Anunoby. Green, he's checked in for Norman Powell. And it's Kyle Lowry in for Fred VanVleet. Outside Leonard. And stolen by Russell. Down low, LeVert, and it's thrown down hard with both hands.
Yeah, how about the sharp steal and then run out? It looks like they're ready to put the hammer down.
Well, we've been waiting for one of these teams, Greg, to pull away. Maybe that'll be a springboard for them.
Yeah, a big change of possession in a tight ball game. We'll see if they've seized the momentum.
And there's Marc Gasol on the assist from Leonard. 6 points for Marc Gasol.
And he knows how to make good use of his size in that low block. And Gasol's inside game is very refined. There's a smoothness to how he approaches it.
And some good act.
Thank you, Kevin. Kyle, a good first half for you all. How do you continue that for the rest of the game?
We got to come out with our energy.
Thank you, David, for that interview, and we'll see you back here after the break for third quarter basketball.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hi again, everyone. I'm Ernie Johnson, sitting alongside the Diesel. The first quarter for the Raptors was fairly even. They never trailed by more than 3 points, and it was neck and neck the entire period. If you look at the second quarter scoring, they had a small edge. They really hung tough as we got close to halftime. And taking a look at the Raptors, Kenny, what did you see out there?
Well, they made a concerted.
And that'll do it for us.
And as we get into this third quarter, as we've seen so far, neither team able to create much separation on the scoreboard yet. Nets trail by 4. Kyle Lowry and Danny Green are the guard tandem. And it's Marc Gasol. Then there's Kawhi Leonard. And it's Siakam in at the 4 spot. That's Nick Nurse's 5 as we get into the second half. Toronto shooting 71% all in all in this one. They've been brilliant offensively. Leonard finds Gasol. Outside, Green. Back to Siakam. Just 5 to shoot. Outside, Leonard. Elbow shot is on the way. Rebounded by the Nets. Allen's got 4 rebounds now tonight. And this Toronto team has started to depend on threes more often for their offense.
You're right, Kevin. They went from being near the bottom of the league in threes attempted to top 5 in attempts this past year. And a lot of that is the green light to shoot from the wings that they have. It's another dynamic to an already potent scoring machine.
And here are the Raptors now, following the three-pointer by Brooklyn. And that's out of bounds. Toronto will retain possession.
So close to getting the steal there, but the deflection equally as effective.
Right. I mean, that's solid defense. At the very least, you like seeing them muck it up and make things difficult.
And the call will be against Harris. That's his first foul. Here in this third quarter, just over a minute play. Here's Leonard.
They're fortunate to be in front given how shaky he's been from the floor tonight.
Some solid defense from Harris. That's tipped, and the foul called on Kawhi Leonard. That's foul number 2 for him. Here's Russell. And we're just about a minute and a half into the third quarter of basketball.
And before he had time to bring the ball back in off the pump fake, out, and they're off.
Raptors have gone 7 of 9 from the free throw line tonight.
And look back a season ago, they did a solid job at the line, about 79% of their free throws.
And he knocks down the first one. And Greg, one of the stories that had started developing since last season was the talk of Kawhi Leonard wanting out. Too many soured relationships, it seemed.
And he was eventually moved after requesting a trade. Pop and the Spurs tried just about everything they could to convince him to stay. Probably the most drama for a team known for not having any drama.
Here's LeVert. 9 points in the game so far. Allen. Basket is good. The assist from Harris. Harris has got 4 assists in the game.
Excellent assist there. Just led him to the perfect spot.
Now, here's Lowry. Passes it to Gasol. Over Allen. The shot's good from Gasol. Gasol's got 8. And so Allen will bring it up for the Nets. Since the second half started, they've only given up 3 points.
And they haven't been able to turn it into a big lead, but their rebounding advantage is starting to add up.
And here's Leonard from 3. Raptors get it back. Pass to Siakam. Harris against Gasol. Just 5 on the clock. Up and in on the layup. And now a 4-point Toronto lead.
Yeah, the D has not been able to keep the ball out of the paint at that end of the floor.
Here's Russell with the 3. It's hauled in by the Raptors. Siakam's got 4 rebounds in this game.
I'll tell you, that's been the story of this guy's night. He can't get anything to fall.
Toronto calls timeout.
And really, whether you're up or down, it's a game of adjustments.
But I like to see them mix it up a little bit. You've got to keep the opposition off balance.
A completely new group for Toronto. We've got 1:08 left in the third quarter. They double him with Russell, and Ibaka slams it in.
Well, a high percentage scorer with a great shot selection. Ibaka knows when to send it home.
Russell with a wide open look, and the 3 ball is good. He's got 7.
Gentlemen, this guy goes from good three-point shooter to great when you give him that kind of space.
It's stolen by Allen. In transition, here come the Nets. That one's good, and the Raptor lead is cut down to just 1 on the bucket from Crabbe.
And that's such good work to make this a one-possession game. Terrific steal to get it all started.
Here's Van Vliet. He's guarded by Russell. It's Powell on the wing, and stolen by Harris for the lead. And Russell with the basket on the assist by Harris. And that's now 9 points for D'Angelo Russell. Second half here. We're just over 3.5 minutes into it. Van Vliet looking around. Over to the wing. Ibaka down low, working on Allen. Ibaka, no luck. There's Russell with the 3, and again, Brooklyn with the triple.
And since halftime, they have been locked and loaded from beyond.
Yeah, there's no question about it. Knocking down triples repeatedly, the defense starting to look helpless at this point.
D'Angelo Russell getting it done for the Brooklyn Nets. He notched 8 points in the quarter and has that terrific basketball instinct on display. We've got more NBA basketball coming your way in just a minute. While we have the chance now, folks, let's go to our State Farm assist of the game.
Yeah, and I like the fact we get to see this pass one more time. A magnificent feed, and you love to see your off guard taking over the playmaking duties with this much skill.
And to me, Jay, you love the unselfishness, finding the best look, and it doesn't matter who's taking it.
Well, this has been a great contest so far, and I imagine the fourth quarter could have even more action in store for us. On the court for the Nets, getting the fourth quarter going. Russell and Crabbe are in the backcourt together. LeVert out there with Harris, and it's Allen in at the 5, home in the paint. Russell from long range, and the Nets another 3.
That's his 3rd triple this half, and that's after hitting only 1 before that.
Outside Leonard, this one for 3. Allen with the rebound. Allen's got 6 rebounds now in the game. There's Russell with the 3. Here's LeVert. Basket is good. The assist from Harris.
Defensively, they just look out of sync, not closing out on the threes in time.
Raptors trail by 8. To the inside. Here's Leonard. It's hauled in by Harris.
I'll tell you, it'd be a big help if he could snap out of this cold streak. His shooting has been hurting them.
Out to the right wing. And the foul called on Kawhi Leonard. That's his 3rd foul of the game. And a new group out there on the floor for the Nets. Fourth quarter still young, just over a minute play. And here's Gasol. He'll bring it up for Toronto. Another miss by Leonard.
It's almost like he's trying to make things hard on himself. You know, he's just got to slow the game down, try to get some easy ones. No question, he got bumped on that shot.
And the first one drops. Both good from the line that time.
Boy, how outstanding at the line has this guy been. One of the best free throw shooting big men you will ever find.
And the Raptors call time here.
You know, it'll be interesting to see what coach draws up here.
Well, they need to stop this run, and a great timeout that hopefully gives his team some energy.
A new group in now for the Raptors. Serge Ibaka has checked in for Siakam. OG Anunoby comes in for Kawhi Leonard. Powell, he's checked in for Green. And it's Fred VanVleet in for Kyle Lowry. Okay, well, let's go down to David Aldridge for a report from the sideline.
Thanks, Kevin. The Toronto's head coach had some words for his team during the break. And he was emphatic. He said, "We are not going to win this game playing this way, fellas. You've got to step it up. You've got to get aggressive. And you've got to battle to get back in this game." See if that pep talk got him going.
Took him no time at all on that one. And the Nets lead by 11. Doris, statistically, today's game is picked apart by so many different ways. But for you, what are the statistical areas that you are most interested in?
Well, I think one of the things that can be undervalued, particularly from the defensive side of the ball, are things like deflections or charges taken or even shots contested. And I say those things, Kevin, because deflections force an offense to restart. Charges taken gets a possession for your team. And shots contested affects, obviously, the field goal percentage of the team you're guarding. So it's all of those little defensive stats that you really have to track and be monitoring to understand the value that they have on winning.
Very interesting.
And the way Mark plays, similar to his brother Kyle, a soft shooting big man with phenomenal length.
Brooklyn with the ball. They've led by as many as 11 points. Davis, the pass to Karuch. And here's Dudley for three. And it's Toronto with the rebound. Left side, Ibaka. And Davis pulls it. Davis has got 4 rebounds now tonight. And it's Norman Powell with the foul. That's his first foul. Kawhi Leonard is checked in for Toronto. For those just joining us, fourth quarter here. We're just over 2.5 minutes into it.
I think they could have gotten a better look right there. And he's just a little over anxious, I think, to get that shot off.
And he's back in business as a jumper finally drops for him.
Yeah, and from mid-range, Leonard's jump shot is money. It doesn't matter if it's off the dribble or catch and shoot. He never loses his touch.
Well, just loses his head for a moment. That's not overthinking. That's just not thinking.
And a new group out there on the floor for the Nets. Ibaka down low. Lays it up and banks it in. And now it's just a 4-point Nets lead.
Oh, Kev, how about the experience that Ibaka brings? He's able to be comfortable in any situation.
And always a bit of risk on those long passes. Lucky the D couldn't come up with it there.
And some changes here for the Raptors. Siakam is checked in for Ibaka. Green comes in for Norman Powell. And Kyle Lowry subbed in for Fred VanVleet. Hustle from long range. Good work defensively by Lowry. The Raptors have gone 5 for 9 from the field in the final quarter so far. Here's Gasol. Count it! And he has brought them to within 2 points.
Now, that is cold-blooded.
What a shot. He had no fear. I love it.
Allen finds Russell. It's good!
Well, does he have the clutch gene? D'Angelo Russell says, yes, sir, I do.
There's 39 seconds left in the game. So, guys, it comes down to this.
Time for your stars to shine.
And it's Leonard missing. cannot get the first one to drop. Tough one to miss.
I think if there's one thing that he's proven, it's that Allen Crabbe can shoot the basketball. Now it's his responsibility to keep adding to his game.
And he commits the intentional foul.
Really no idea why you're fouling in a situation like that. You know, maybe there's some bad blood between those two.
2 shots.
He hits the first one, and that narrows the lead down to just 3.
You know, there are differing opinions as to who the best defensive player in the league is, but no matter what, Kawhi is always in the discussion.
Leonard hits them both.
Well, you knew he was going to come through there. And the more that's riding on it, the better he seems to be.
And it goes out of bounds. That one off Harris.
Wow, what a time for a turnover. Shows you just how key one play can be.
Just 2 seconds between shot clock and game clock, and so they choose to intentionally foul.
Shooting for Toronto. Pascal Siakam. Taking 2 shots.
Good on the first, and that narrows the gap to 1. Can't knock it down, and they really needed that one.
And he had to have all of those guys. That miss comes at the worst possible time. Yeah, you can't let him hold the ball and just milk those last seconds away.
He drops the first one, and that will put them up by 2. So he goes 2 for 2 at the line, and it's a 3-point game.
A bit of heroics in the line right there as he bumps their lead to 3 and makes things a little easier for them defensively.
Toronto calls timeout. They're behind by 3. 23 seconds left in the fourth quarter. We've got a moment for our Jordan player of the game, D'Angelo Russell.
And he's played this entire game on his front foot, Kevin. I mean, driving the lane, going to the rim with purpose, and getting those points the hard way.
And the call will be against Harris. So that will be his second foul of the game. We're in the bonus. We'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Taking 2 shots.
First free throw is good, and that brings them within 2 here. He hits both from the stripe. And it's Harris with the ball for Brooklyn. They've led by as many as 11 points. What an opportunity here.
Yeah, chance to take the lead. This is huge.
Here's Leonard. Count it!
Boy, shaky work to giving him that good look on the jump shot. What were they thinking?
I don't know, boys. Allen dishes to Russell. Here's Harris. Oh, that shot had a chance, but no good. And so the big win by Toronto in a tight game. That was a fun night of basketball and fabulous finish as they continued to wait out until the very last moment to seal it.
And there are so many times when you see these tight games won at home, that advantage of having that crowd behind you oftentimes is the ultimate X factor.
And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David, thank you as always. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan along with our terrific 2K Sports